What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is another edition of The Lore Games. How you guys doing tonight? How's everybody? We're doing great.
Yay!
Yeah, good.
Awesome. Well, for those who are just joining us, if you're new, what the hell is The Lore Games? The Lore Games is Adult Fantasy's 30,000-foot view of our entire universe. This is where you and us, we all together, just hang out, chill out, have some fun, and basically create the base lore for the entire universe. This is a writer's room, but not like any ordinary writer's room. We're actually creating the giant milestones that will exist within the larger universe. And so, think of the big, Infinity Gauntlet and the End Games and Civil War and all those kind of big blockbuster movies. We're basically creating them here, along with some other things. We actually turned out to create a couple of origin stories and some other stuff. Is this important? Should you care? What does this have to do with anything? Well, yeah, actually, our first season ended, I guess, a couple months ago. And it's actually being turned into a novel by our wonderful compatriot, Zachary Arbella, who's here with us, Zacharium. So these things will be existing in the world, and you get a chance to be a part of it. And we love prizes and rewards and all kinds of good stuff. All comes with it. So with that said, we're going to run down the little line here real quick and say hello to everybody, and then we'll jump in. And I actually have some good surprises for people. So first up to this way. I don't know what this is. Like, is this my I guess this is my left. To my left.
Screen right. Stage right.
Stage. Yes, stage right. It is the wonderful, the adorable, the lovable, the cuddly Dusty Sky. What's up, man?
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Dusty, I've pulled you up so many times now this week on like different. I feel like you've been on like we're doing interviews with people, and I'm like get over here. It's like Mortal Kombat for live streams.
Yeah, I wonder if an introduction is really necessary at this point. I'm just saying.
Maybe. Always and forever, man. Well, welcome very much. KG, what's up, KG? KG says, Masters of the AF Universe starring Heatot and Skeladrew. There is nothing Skella about Drew. Anyway, moving over to the far
wow.
The far corner.
Yeah.
We have the phenomenal, the incredibly talented Avery Butterworth.
Oh.
Avery has had his work. You probably have seen his work from Image Comics, from Heavy Metal Magazine, from White Wolf Publishing, and many, many more things. He's also the artist of the D-Void Origin comic. What's up, man? How are you?
Well, you said we're creating the base lore. I thought you were saying we were free basing, and I got confused.
We are free basing the lore.
Oh, all right.
That is what we are doing tonight. We're free basing lore. Willie D says, "Who's the hot dog?"
Dusty.
That is a hot dog who is an adorable hot dog hiding in a human world.
It does have a fun personality.
It looks like a carrot in a hot dog bun.
Mm-hmm. That would be what it is.
Oh,
exactly what it is. He is hiding as a carrot. Because who wants to eat a carrot? They just want to eat hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
That's where we are.
Dusty
this is where our culture is headed. Yeah, this is where culture is headed. Well, welcome, Avery. Now, certainly right here, Skeladrew. What's up, man? How are you?
Was that a fat joke earlier?
Technically, it was a skinny joke.
But you said he's nothing like a skeleton.
I said there's no skella about him.
Yeah.
We're like twins. What are you talking about?
Andrew's definitely fatter.
Damn, Avery.
Look at that.
Kind of mean today.
In high school.
Today.
In high school.
Today and kinda?
Well, okay.
True story. In high school, people used to ask us if we were brothers. Is that yes? True?
Yes, they did. I don't know why.
Well, you know, the fat fills in our wrinkles, so we just look like nice, beautiful people all the time.
It's the whole reason why I won't shave because I look like it's just a baby face, you know.
I know it's true. Andrew is the proprietor of Misfit Corner Comics, the best comic shop in Florida, located at the Jacksonville Beach Boulevard Flea Market. It's one of the best comics in the state, and that is no joke. It's huge. Don't be surprised. Don't be fooled by the fact that it's in a flea market. What they do with flea markets now is nuts. It's basically just like a giant strip mall. It's huge. And a nice hat there. Absolutely represent. Andrew is also a phenomenal writer and artist in his own right. He's published 6 books. And the newest one is Hero Volume 3, which is being worked on as we speak. And so, yeah, what's up, buddy? Welcome.
Very good to be here. Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. And over to the diagonal right there.
Hello.
I can't do it. This way, right there. Is the one and only Flint, co-founder of Adult Fantasy. What's up, man?
Not much. Happy to be here.
Awesome, man. How are you? We're busy working on the Origin comic stuff. I don't know how much we should say about it, but
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, you know we always do cool stuff, man. Absolutely. Welcome, MK Kronos. What's up, sir? GM, how you doing, brother? Welcome. And last but certainly not least, we have 13-time novelist in the fantasy space, also the author behind the adult fantasy, the very first, hopefully first of many adult fantasy novels. Zach Arbella, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Well, my town is about to be overrun with motorcycles and drunk fat guys riding the motorcycles. Actually, drunk fat old guys riding the motorcycles. So it's not a time to be on the road, but I soldier on anyway. That's the perils of living in a Florida beach town with a long history of biker-related activity.
I do imagine it as like Mad Max with like a little more water.
At this point, it's more like Mad Max with a lot of Metamucil. I mean, most of these guys. The fact is, most of these guys are above the age of 50 at this point. There aren't a lot of younger. If there are younger bikers out there, they're not riding hogs down Main Street in Daytona Beach. Although I did go to the Speedway today for the first time ever, just to watch some of the motorcycle racers going through their paces. They all seem fairly young, so. Maybe there's hope for it yet. Although to be fair, I do want to buy a motorcycle one day. I'm thinking, I'm picturing myself like riding a chopper. Like wearing nothing but a vest and a pair of Speedos with like a with a giant like skull helmet. And yeah, then
nope, can't do it. I'm out.
Then I pass out from the whiskey.
I've met Zach. I don't want to see that. I'm out.
Hey, I've lost a little bit of weight since then, right? I don't.
If you say so, okay.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Actually, now that I think about it, it's the alcohol. It's the alcohol talking, guys.
No worries, man. No worries.
I need rehab.
It's Thursday night. We're all feeling good. It's been, Thursday is the best night in my book because we get to do amazing stuff. And, this is it's just so much fun. So, hey, before we jump into lore games, you guys want to see, have you guys seen the Adult Fantasy cover in progress? The Adult Fantasy Origin comic #1 cover in progress.
I want to see it. Show me.
You guys want to see it?
Give it to me.
All right, so I will show it to you, and then I will tell you some of the changes because it's not finished. But I want to show it to you. So let me find the thing. Here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1, booyah! And then there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, boy.
It's pretty good, right?
Not bad.
Nice.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Thank you. MK says. Great cover. KG says show and tell. Thank you. Yeah, this is looking great. So this is almost complete. Basically, The only thing, so there will be something in this box, but I'm hiding that for right now. And the names, all the text, so the names and the titles right here, this is just placeholder text. It will say that, but I'm giving it to the letterer just as placement, right? So I'm like, okay, just make this look better. Yeah, everything else above here, all this text up here is final. Yeah, it looks sweet, man. I will tell you, man, like we may have to make a physical, man, because this looks too good. It looks
All right.
It looks really good.
Can't
KG
wait.
says, damn. Yeah, man, it's super. I'm so stoked. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Avery put a lot of love into it, and I gotta say, this is why it's so important, man. And I don't think it's gonna hit people until you start to see what gets produced. But this comic came, the story and the art, everything came directly from this show. Everything in here is from us. From you guys like participating, KG participating, and Willie D participating, and MK and Carrots and Wizard, everybody participating. Like you guys put stuff in, and we discussed it and had some conversations about it, and here it is. You know what I mean? Like it is alive. And so when we put like some of the questions, some other questions in the Discord, you guys answered it. All that stuff is in the book, man. It's all here. So this is the very first piece that all of us have come together to build, and I believe it's the first time it's ever happened. I believe it's the very first time, like a real like a full-on book done in real time with a community to actually produce a comic, right? There's definitely been, I'm sure there's been things where it's like, oh, give us some feedback and we'll put it in the book, but it's like top down. They already know the story, they already have the writing, they already have the thing, and they're just kind of allowing a community to add some flavor to it. We did this all from scratch. And it's the same thing when Zach's book comes out, when that novel comes out, man, like it's 100%. We got it documented. Like this is all of us together working on this together. Like it's never this is not something that's ever been done before. So it's pretty badass. So yeah, everyone should be proud of themselves. Everybody in chat, thank you guys so much. We can't wait to show you some of the other cool things that we're going to do with this book specifically when it's ready to go. MK says, so effing excited. Yeah, me too, man. This is looking so good. And I can't wait for you to see it. And we're going to do a lot more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So yeah, thank you guys so much. This is great. And we'll definitely show you more as we come along, as we get some. There's going to be some other. I'll just go ahead and I can tell you this without spoiling too much. We probably will have like another a variant cover or so. So we're gonna do a lot of special stuff with this, some really cool stuff with it, yeah, we're really gonna knock it out of the park. Okay, so there's that, and that's a huge win, and thank you guys. It's coming along fantastic. All right,
it's great. I like that colorist.
It looks legit, right? Like it looks so good. It looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Check this out. All right, the lore games. Let's do it.
Lore.
All right, lore. Where are we? We started going on debate, break into a story. Right. Okay. So we are. Do we want to do it? We should do a recap. Who wants to? Andrew. You want to do the recap? You're actually more pithy in your dialect than I am when it comes to recaps. Cool, Andrew's not here. That's great.
Andrew, come on, man. The fat joke wasn't that bad.
I'm eating my dinner.
Oh, sorry.
Let me wipe it off my shirt. All right, quick recap. We don't know all the details just yet. But the basis of the story is our main character, who we've named Nathan, or Nathan or Nathaniel Ranger, something like that. Clean cut, all American boy, detective in, I think we're placing this in New York, right?
Yep.
Gets approached after solving a crime and capturing a superhero bad guy or supervillain bad guy. Gets approached by a group that tells him that his father was undercover inside of a prison and was murdered. And in order to they want him to go undercover into the prison to continue his father's mission, as well as solve his own father's murder. And he agrees to do this. And in doing so, he finds out that he's being set up royally. He's being sent to a supermax prison for supervillains. And while he's in there, he has to figure out a way to survive being surrounded by supervillains. He also has to solve his father's murder, find out who was responsible for it, and complete whatever task it was his father was there in the first place. In the meantime, the agency that convinced him to do this is completely destroying his life on the outside. And we created a scene in which he realizes there's absolutely no going back. And it's a very pivotal scene in which he realizes he's now a bad guy. And if he has to do bad in order to survive, that's what he has to do. And eventually he teams up with a criminal that's in the prison by the name of Cobalt Fox. And the two of them devise a riot plan in order to escape from the prison, as well as take out the main bad guy, or at least who they think is the main bad guy. And this all happens during a hurricane that's happening outside the prison. And the prison's underground, so it's being flooded with water. And the imagery is just incredibly cool. Whether this is a story, whether this is a graphic novel, whether it's a TV show, it's going to look awesome. And this is step one in Nathan's journey into what will eventually become the modern day Cobalt Fox. This is the origin story of our character, Cobalt Fox, our version of Cobalt Fox. And we're going to meet a lot of people who become very important in the future. And bottom line, it's going to be a rip-roaring good time. And it's only the first part.
Awesome. Hey, that was actually really good.
Yeah, I think I threw in a couple of things in there too that we hadn't talked about before.
It's pretty good.
Because every now and then I like to give you guys ideas and make you
yeah, just throw it in there. It's fine. Excellent. So we've gone through multiple phases in our style. So the very first round is something we're calling right now. We're calling it Microscope. We're calling it that because we were inspired by an RPG called Microscope. We modified it. We actually rewrote the rules to fit our writer's room style. But the core concept is basically the same. We take turns, we play a game. Everybody gets a turn to pitch in. And you're basically just kind of whatever comes to your mind, you're putting down. And you're kind of sculpting a universe as a group. And then what we did is we jumped in to the story circle. And the story circle is your kind of a simplified hero's journey, where you have 8 steps. You go search, find, take. Basically these core tenets of storytelling. And so we went through it. You need, go, search, We got our bullet points down. That always to me is like one of the hardest parts, because it seems simple just to hit 8 bullet points, but it takes a lot of thought and a lot of discussion. We cleared that, and now we're moving over into the basically the next version of the thing, which is we call it the one sheet, which is basically the entire story broken down into one sheet. And so it looks more complicated and there's more things to do, but because we have those 8 steps already filled out, it actually makes it a lot easier. You still have to figure out stuff, but you kind of know where you're going. So it gives you a little more room to play and think. You have a deeper focus, right? And so we are going to be diving into this. So there's a beat sheet over here. We did some setup. We did the catalyst, eager hero. We did the debate. I'll start with the debate because I know we're going to break into 2. So let me zoom in. Let me zoom in to the debate so we can kind of follow along at home. We're in this big yellow box over here. When we start talking here, debate, fiance doesn't want him to go, or he lets her down. Maybe it's a trip or a honeymoon. Maybe she's pregnant but doesn't know it yet. I'll be a hero, ambition and personal desire for closure. Maybe his mother is frail. We're talking about all the things. We're building him up in that whole setup, like and just basically so this company or this agency can strip it all away and basically destroy his life. Pretty hardcore. So inside of the debate, you have the opportunity. You don't have to do all of them, but you have the opportunity to examine the debate from all of the angles of a character's life, home, work, and play. So at home, it's the fiance and possibly the mother, family issues, basically. The debate at work is his partner tells him not to go. Don't end up like your dad. The dad's ex-partner is going to help with the debate. He can be the mentor figure. He can basically be the Obi-Wan of our story, potentially. Although I think Cobalt Fox will end up being the actual mentor. I'm not really sure yet. And then the debate on play is something called flushed. And the best way to think about what flushed means is it's literally in the Matrix when Neo gets flushed from the fake world and he takes the pill, he goes and wakes up and he gets flushed out of the system. The Matrix is awesome because it's they literally like it's almost like they wrote scenes that were literally what the beat sheet is. It's really interesting when you actually compare these two things. So flushed, he agrees to go. Agents shake his hand and arrest him publicly. Lots of cameras. Nate gets arrested. He doesn't know it yet, but it's for a brutal murder. So basically, he gets ripped out of his world. He accepts this deal. He accepts the job, and they immediately arrest him, chuck him in the truck. You know what I mean? Or something else. Maybe they shake his hand and he's walking down the street the next day, and they kidnap him and chuck him in a truck. Something. Basically, he's pushed out of his normal life and tossed into a prison. Break into two. So break into two is the introduction of sort of the upside down world. We started to talk about possibly the idea of learning to control yourself is maybe his theme, right? Like you got to control yourself because he doesn't. He kind of rushes in. He saved the day this first time, but now he rushed into the second thing and it bit him in the ass. So he's in prison. He snitches, and they like he's like even the very beginning, like someone's hiding a shiv or something, and he snitches and gets beaten up later that night, or maybe even gets beat up by the cop, or maybe the cops turn their back while the other prisoners beat the shit out of him. He gets tossed into a cell, meets Cobalt Fox. They have an interaction. Hero wants to find the killer. Problem is he's no hero. He's a human cop in a world of superpowered criminals, which I think is so cool. Now we go through training. So inside of Break Into Two, you've got a couple of different sections. You've got training and you've got the trial. This is basically moving into fun and games. So fun and games is the section where I believe we are right now. Fun and games and B story goes in a cycle. So it usually goes training, then A story, then trial runs, and then B story, and it just cycles through. So fun and games, the best way to describe that, fun and games are the trailer moments. So you almost can put the movie or story on hold, right? You don't have to. You always have to progress. You know, a good story is always going to progress forward, but it's almost kind of taking a pause. He's going to be learning new life in prison. This is when he can learn about how to actually behave in prison, like get into fights in prison, drop the soap in prison, like all the whatever. He's got to get used to the life, and there's going to be some action and adventure. This is all the stuff that you're going to put into the trailer, or a lot of it, minus the climactic explosions and all that kind of stuff. The B story is the love story. Now, a love story doesn't mean, well, it could mean a romance, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a romance. A B story in Star Wars might be Luke and Han Solo, right? Like it can be kind of like a buddy kind of thing, or kind of like this play on these things. So the B story is internal, what the character needs to learn and develop internally, and the fun and games is external. So we're developing the character from an internal side and an external side. So one of the ways we do that is we can break it up by saying training, A story, trial runs, B story. So training, real superhero. We learned that real superheroes are learning to use their powers via Supermax Fight Club. It's a life in a super prison. We can talk about that. What does it involve, and how does an innocent cop integrate into life there? He can't outfight, or he has to outthink or fight dirty. It's life without privilege. A story, murder rap triggers fun and games. accused of horrible crimes. Mother dies or killed. Wife leaves him, learns that he's been watched for a while. That might even be a little bit of the B story because of the heartstrings aspect of it. We haven't figured out the trial run yet. And then we've got some B story. It was probably the psychologist, because we need to bring in that character, and it sounds like a perfect place. And so we can go through these, training A story, trial run, B story, really a few times if we need. Like, we could just create scenes and create context for this. So let's start here. This is basically where we are. So we probably need a trial to pump in a trial run. So just as a reminder, a trial run is just that. It's the hero trying out his new powers for real, right? And so his new powers are basically the fact that he's like, thinks he's undercover, right? Or he is undercover. And I guess I should put it like this. Like in Spider-Man, it's Spider-Man trying to swing and he falls. Matrix is the same thing. Matrix, he goes to the training and he does like kung fu literally he does kung fu training, and then the trial run is him jumping off a roof and falling and like bouncing off the concrete. What do you think? It's a mixed bag of success and failure, basically. So what do you think we could do for a trial run?
I've got an idea. Did you all expect that?
I was hoping for it.
Well, listen. This goes along with the idea of him snitching and getting in trouble and beaten up by the guards and so forth. When he goes into the prison, he has two major misconceptions. Number one, the guards are the good guys, the prisoners are the bad guys. We've already established there are no other good guys in this entire story. Everybody's got a bit of evil in them and is bad. And the other misconception is that he's on the side of the good guys. When he goes in, maybe he sees something, an act that's maybe in his mind. He thinks he's in there to root out bad things. Like maybe he sees a guard do something for an inmate that should be illegal or it shouldn't be done, and he snitches on the guard to another guard saying, "Hey, I'm on your side. I just saw the guard do something he shouldn't be doing." And then that's when they punish him because they're all bad. It's literally like, oh, he went up to the Red Skull and say, "Hey, the Dr. Doom just did something bad to somebody." He literally snitched on himself to the guards, thinking that the guards were on his side, that the guards were on the side of the angels. But the truth of the matter is, he really is all alone in this prison. And maybe that's the moment he realizes when they beat the shit out of him for snitching on a guard.
Right.
And I think that's another twist that there's I don't want to say a realization, but it's a dawning on him that he's effed, when
right.
When he goes in, he's got a misconception in his mind that he's in there going to do good. He's going in to root out evil. He's going in working with other people to solve the crimes, to root out the bad guys. He thinks there's good and bad. He thinks there's black and white. And that's always in his mind simply because that's how he was raised and how he's built and how he does things. But this whole story is going to change him. He's going to become one of the bad guys in the end. But there's got to be a stark realization that he is all alone and he's screwed. Mm-hmm. And his volunteering for this had admirable goals. Admirable. What did I say? Admiral
Akbar.
Admiral Akbar. Yeah,
it's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Exactly. Cool. Words, English, not coming to me. Sorry. I see the scene in my head where he witnesses something happening and he rats on a guard to another guard, and that's when he gets.
I like the guard rat too.
Yeah.
J. Ross says,
Yeah,
what
that's
up, y'all?
cool.
Tuned in for a few before I run out to an MMA training. Hey, man, work out the brain before you work out the body. I get it, man. Awesome. What's up, J. Rock? Glad you're here.
Is that the way you're supposed to do it? Shit, I've been working out the brain the entire time, last 30 years.
MK says, yes, Niche is a good one. MK says another might be him needing something from the outside and has to do something immoral to get it for the Bart. Ooh, I like that. That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that would actually be a great.
And that's how you introduce Prison Wallet.
Prison Wallet!
Yeah, maybe Prison
That's who he
Wallet
has-
will help him, but he needs a
Exactly.
favor.
That's who he
That
has to
would be.
go
That
to.
would be. I can't lie. That actually would be.
That's a good way to introduce the character.
Guys, I think we should all take a vote right now, and this character, Prison Wallet, looks exactly like Avery.
Oh no.
Nobody out
Oh,
there disagree.
no.
He looks exactly like Avery.
I'm for it. I don't care. Do it.
The eyes have
Do
it.
Do it.
Yeah, but you got to be a lot shorter. You can't just be a big, huge, tall.
Yeah.
built guy. You gotta be a
It's just
short,
he
naked
make him
guy.
a short instead of a big tall fat guy. Make him a short fat guy who has an oversized like a really large head.
Wait a minute. Now you're describing me.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Good job, guys. Good job.
Perfect.
Put on MK. That's awesome. That's a great idea. Oh. That's pretty nice. I like that. I like that's exactly what we need, right? Like because technically we should be going through the cycle probably 2 or 3 times, right? There's different training, different things. Trial runs and training doesn't have to be like, it's adapting. We have to show him in this act adapting to life, so that by the time he hits the midpoint, he's like kind of a veteran. You know what I mean? So that was a great suggestion, MK. Thank you so much. That's dope. Awesome. That'll be the next trial run. So we got the A story. Well, the A story is really, it's not just the murder rap triggers all this stuff. This actually might be the B story. The A story is going to be him in prison, actually starting to look for the clues to, so the B story is this, and then you've got like, oh, it didn't copy. What the fuck? Oh man. Shit. What the hell's going on? Cool. It just deleted it. That's awesome. Thanks. All right. Well, this was mom dies, etc.
Shouldn't it be mom killed ? Remember, because there was that one scene where he finds out his mom died. He wants to get out of the prison to go to her funeral, and he's making waves. And the lawyer comes to him and says, "Listen, they got to your mom. Get back to work, or they're going to go after your wife next. Your pregnant wife," which he didn't know up until that point. And that's when he decides.
Yeah, I also kind of like the idea if we do this to him. So one of the things that makes the movie The Game so good, and it kind of reminds me of this, is that, and this is I don't want to spoil the movie because it's such a good movie, but at the end there's a twist. I'll just leave it at that. So I wonder what could be kind of cool is like on this one, the twist could be like, I do think there's a scene when he breaks out of prison, and maybe the climax is actually he's like about to break out of prison or whatever, and the agency is there and they're like say that they're there to help, and he basically takes them out or something, like he converts to a bad guy. But I think it might be interesting if like maybe his mom is alive. You know what I mean? Like if it was all a lie, just so they could like psychologically manipulate him to do whatever it is they needed him to do. You know what I mean? Because he's locked up. I mean, this is like Guantanamo Bay for superheroes or supervillains. So he's not going to know jack shit. You know what I mean? All they have to do is plant a couple things and like show a fake video on the television screen or some shit, and like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his wife could really leave him, but like maybe his mom, they don't actually kill her. Maybe they just say they do, or suggest strongly that they will or have. But the A story is going to be looking for. We need a scene. So he's in there. Really, the A story is probably something about him learning to adjust in prison and starting, like if I had to think of the A story for these like 3 A stories, it would probably be like learning to adjust in prison, and then it would be like finding a clue to what was it? Basically, it would be finding a clue to the person he needs to find, right? I'll just say finding a clue. And then there'd probably be one more in there where it's like I mean, we could even pump this up like that Justin life in prison. Remember, we also have these gangs, right? So it's like so
yeah, I remember we had him fighting some of those gangs early on as a pecking order sort of thing. That's probably part of the section.
Yeah, that could be the learning to adjust, right? It doesn't have to be like him like waiting in line to get food. Like, that might be a scene, but you could combine it, right? Like you could have him in the line getting slop on his plate, and he doesn't know what the fuck to do because he's only been there for 15. He's only been there for a day or something, and then like he asks for more or something, and then that triggers a gang leader. I don't know. Like there's trouble could happen in the cafeteria, right? And then he basically gets his ass beat. He has to meet the warden. Something.
Does he know at this point that these people are superpowered?
Yeah, I think. That's a good point.
Just
That's a good question.
I have this mental picture of him. He's at the cafeteria. Some guy takes some food off his tray. He's just like, "This is mine now," And he starts a fight, not understanding that he's about to get shredded,
right?
By a superpowered person. And that's how he figures out, like, oh, these aren't just normal people,
Right. Right.
Maybe, I remember how I said earlier on that everybody might be wearing like superpower inhibitor collars or something, major collars. Maybe there's some people in the prison where their powers can't be held back by the collars. Like maybe it's something that they can't turn off, because if they turned it off, the person would die. So they just have like an inhibitor, but it doesn't turn off their powers completely. I in my mind, I was seeing that the prison cafeteria scene in my mind.
Yeah.
And I see him getting into a scuttle with somebody, and their power is like to vomit up acid or something. But it's their power can't be turned off because it'll kill them internally if they do. And the guy like spits acid out like all over the table and disintegrates the table.
Yeah.
And maybe that's one of the moments where the guy's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, everybody does that in their prisons. They have some kind of inhibitor that turns off people's powers. What if they're in this story, they can't completely turn them off?
What if the guards from time to time will turn off the collars just to see what the guys will do to each other?
Ooh, I like that.
What if Nathan
or get bribed to turn it off?
Yeah, what if Nathan starts fucking with this guy? Sorry, Todd. Starts screwing with this guy, and then one of the guard like turns off their collars like for both of them, and the guy with the powers knows what that means, and Nathan has no clue what it means because of course he doesn't have powers, and all of a sudden the guy turns into something or changes into something and starts wailing on him, and then maybe the psychiatrist comes in or the warden comes in, so they turn the collars back on and the guy shrinks back down to his normal size right before he kills Nathan. That gets it to the point where he's got to go like to the infirmary for a week or something.
That could lead to some cool questioning too.
That could be some. Yeah, that could be some hilarious scenes in which from time to time they just freaking turn their collars off just to see what they'll do.
That could lead to some cool questioning too of like, okay, does Nathan not have powers or did they just not turn off his collar?
That'd be true too. Yeah, somebody could say his collar malfunctioned. That's why he didn't fight back. Maybe that's the cover story that they give.
Well, at first, maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe at first it's not really an attack on. It's not necessarily an attack on him. It's like he's in this. He could be in this. He could be in this cafeteria, just doing his thing, and all of a sudden you see the guards turn off 2 collars, right? And it's just 2 random or two prisoners that had a beef from earlier that day. And they start doing this, and that's where Nathan's like, where the hell am I and what is going on, right? And that actually brings up, because that actually is a great setup, because then you also could have another scene later on, probably towards the midpoint or maybe after, at some point, basically where it's all of a sudden it's his turn and his collar gets turned off, right, against beef against somebody else, and he has to figure out like basically a boss fight. You know what I mean?
If this scene happens, it's got to be very early on, like his first day in the joint.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be hilarious if every now and then you're walking someplace, or maybe you're 2 guys in the middle of mopping a floor and some guard comes in, turns off your collars just to see what the hell you 2 would do.
Well, it also sets up like battles, right? Like he can do something for a gang leader and like piss off the gang leader at some point, right? Do something that makes the gang leader mad, and then all of a sudden, they're in the gymnasium or something, and the guards turn their 2 collars off, and all of a sudden it's like super dangerous for Nathan.
Maybe that's like a call to arms when they turn off your collar.
Yeah.
That could be a prerequisite for fighting in the arena or something,
Yeah.
I can kind of see different rival factions bribing people to turn off collars too, bribing the guards.
Mm-hmm. That also might be training, actually, now I think about it. Like, well,
the guards take place bets with each other. They'll turn off. Like, okay, yeah, your boy paid you to turn off a collar so he can kill so-and-so. Well, I got $20, $100 that so-and-so can beat him. I'll turn his collar off too.
Right. Yeah, let me, where's that?
Oh, that would be a hilarious scene. Where like somebody pays the guards to turn off somebody's collar so they could take a guy out. And the guard says, sure, no problem. And he turns off both their collars just to see what'll happen. That's some evil crap right there.
Yeah,
I love it.
A lot of that is training, right? That's actually like, I'll move it later, but a lot of that is actually the training. Like, you're like, all of a sudden you're like, wait, this is a supermax prison, right? And then somewhere else inside of the A story, or inside of the fun and games, you would have like the training section. You would basically have what would A story? It'd probably be training. I'll put it in here for now. But basically it would be this is when Nate discovers the fight club, basically the super fight club, right? That's a whole nother like. I can see that as a trailer moment. You know what I mean? Like I can see a cut. I could see a cut where you're in the cafeteria, and like all of a sudden there's a super. I can see it. He's like arrested for murder, thrown in prison, starts a fight. There's a super thing, and then you cut, and it's like a battle arena with superheroes like beating the shit out of each other, right? With like some really strong good hero and like blah blah blah, right? Like Captain America, but beating the shit out of this guy in prison like as a practice round, so he's not so nice. MK says that would totally enhance, and I think he was not to me, but I think to Andrew, that would totally enhance the view of everyone as bad. Yeah. Zach, what do you think, man?
Difficult to say. I think it's so far so good. Scroll back up a bit. Yeah. So oh right, beat sheet whip. Just wondering if I'm on the set. Oh, I see where you are. Yeah. A story. Yeah, I mean it seems fine to me. I mean I got nothing to add for this.
Cool. I think so let's think the two things that we need to have happen. I think we've got some really good training and trial run stuff. I think we can figure it out. We have some A story. We're gonna have like him. We have to have some A story, a little more A story. Even though I fill this in as A story, it's probably more of training. But A story is a little more. Is a little more about like would probably be like him searching for the killer in prison. So what would be something that he could do in prison? I'm going to move this to training, and I'm not going to delete it because last time I did that and copied it, it didn't fucking work. But what is something that he could do?
I think if we're all going along with the idea that his dad was in the prison for a reason, and the group is asking him to go back in to finish that, we need to flesh out what it was he was in there for in the first place.
Right.
I think it has to do with the underground fighting arena, because that's the secret twist of the prison. Yeah. Maybe he was sent in there to find out why villains are going in and come out dead, or go in and disappear completely, and maybe, but that would almost assume that the group that is sending Nathan in doesn't know about it, doesn't really know what's going on inside the prison.
Right. Maybe that's the mission. Yeah. So there has to be a couple things we have to establish. So the first thing is like, certainly it's going to be about, I think you're right. I think it's got to be about the pit, the fighting pit, but there also has to be like some form of contact. Or not. I guess there has to be, we're going to need to set up from the agency side what the rules are, because is there going to be a contact that he talks to, or is it like, hey, once you're in, there won't be any communication, or we'll find ways to contact you, and it'll be like through like little, I kind of like the idea. It's like, we'll find ways to contact you, and it's like little notes, or like, that's cool. The TV, like the TV in the cafeteria switches, just like flickers and switches when he's watching it to something that gives him a clue or an idea. You know what I mean? Like almost like
there being dead drops.
What's that?
I like what you just said of the idea of there being like dead drops, like papers left in random places.
Yeah, and you don't ever have to show anything
Actually, here's another idea that we could try. Instead of dead drops, why not say like, why not just make it simple that one of the prisoners in there was like worked for his dad. Like let's say he turned one of the supervillain inmates into like an informant or a snitch, and that guy is able to fill him in on what he knows, but he doesn't know that much. But it's enough. It's enough to move the story along.
Would that be Zach? Would that be the guy? So we had this guy kind of stuck in the basement area that he was going to go search out and kind of find. The guy that ends up like giving him the clue that there's a daughter or something. And
actually, here's the thing. Did you ever see Death Race 2000? Not the original, but the remake.
The remake. I saw it. I saw it. It was a while ago, but yeah, I saw it.
So there was that guy. There was that guy who played Al Swearingen from Deadwood, and the hotel guy from the John Wick movies. He was in that. He was kind of like the mechanic who knows everything. So I'm thinking sort of like that. Like this will be like a guy who's a lifer, and he's kind of old at this point. He's not as fast as he was. He's just kind of part of the background at this point. But because of that, he kind of knows everything. And this guy, we can see that he either knew his dad on the outside before he got arrested, or he befriended his dad once his dad went undercover. And maybe he's a guy who regrets what he's done, and saw working with his dad as a way to atone for it, or maybe his dad promised that he would get him out, and he's hoping that his son can. He's hoping that his son can finish with what the father started.
Yeah, I can see that.
I got an idea. There's an organization that's running the prison, that's training villains in these death tournaments, and they're also testing the limits of superheroes against these people. This group is separate from the group that sends Nathan in.
Mm-hmm.
What if they were both part of the same cult, but the group that runs the prison is kind of going their own ways? Maybe the group that sends Nathan in is part of the cult of Cobalt Fox. Or maybe the group that is running the prison used to be the cult of Cobalt Fox, but they turned on him, threw him into the prison, and it's under new leadership. I think we need to get back to the original. We need to figure out those two groups.
Yeah.
Because I think we've established there's one group running the prison, there's one group trying to infiltrate the prison, but then there's the third group, the group that is run by, what is his name? The general guy? Maybe that's the group that is putting in the superheroes. But I think there's we definitely need to go to the basis of that, because that determines the reason why his father was there in the first place.
And a related idea I've been kicking around while I've been sitting here is I like the idea of the two groups being separate. It'd be interesting if you have the prison, you have your league of superheroes, whatever you want to call it, potentially led by Steel, who is, maybe they're not actually sending superheroes into the prison as prisoners, but they have all of these prisoners and they use them as, like, the superheroes go into the tournament and fight the villains as training, which is something that's like super illegal. And so maybe Nathan's dad's organization is investigating this. So he goes into the prison to investigate this, gets killed. Nathan gets sent in to investigate that. And maybe the group that is ruining his life on the outside, spreading that misinformation about him, etc., potentially kidnapping or killing the his mom, is not the group that sent Nathan in. It's the superheroes. trying to prevent him from exposing what they're doing in this prison.
Oh, interesting.
In that case, why wouldn't they just kill him to keep him?
Maybe they're trying to.
Yeah, but why would they have sent him in there in the first place?
No, the group that is investigating the prison sends him in, which is separate from the superheroes that are trying to kill him / get him to not talk.
Interesting. That's cool.
See what I'm saying?
So Flint, it would be, so you've got 3 groups then. You've got, because I guess you do have 3 groups. Well, you have 2 groups. You've got.
I'm kind of describing 2, yeah, but.
Yeah, you've got the agency, and then you've got the organization that runs the prison. But the organization that runs the prison basically has a deal with these superhero groups to bring them in to fight. So there's like money being pushed around or something, right?
Yeah, basically the League of Superheroes or whatever is using the prison as training. Give us prisoners as fodder. We're going to use them to train, which is obviously very morally gray, right? Not even gray. It's a bad thing to do. And so that's why Nathan's agency is investigating. That's why the dad got sent in. That's why Nathan's getting sent in to find out what happened to the dad, right?
Yeah, but at some point, Nathan thinks he's working for the good guys, and he wants to get out of the prison because something has happened, and he wants to leave. And they pretty much tell him, "You're stuck here. You're here until you figure out what's going on, or you finish the mission."
Totally.
But that's why I think there's 3 groups. There's the one that sends him in. There's the one that controls the prison, and then there's the one that has the deal with the superheroes. Maybe the deal with the superheroes is what he was trying to expose.
The father or Nathan?
Nathan's father was sent in.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I agree.
Literally,
I think that's what he's investigating.
Yeah, I think all 3 groups are bad, but one's on the good side and doing bad things.
Yeah, I think the agency, the goal of the agency is, hey, let's expose these superheroes that are doing bad things.
Or this group that controls the superheroes that's doing bad things.
Right. But their methods are still very morally gray. And I think that's what ultimately drives Nathan away from them and turns him into a bad guy. Is like, screw this, you guys are screwing me too,
He's like a baby seal getting thrown into the water with killer whales,
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's none that are going to help him and protect him.
No. So really, there's a section at the end of the B story and Fun and Games called "What It's All About," and it's basically at some point in pretty much every story except romantic comedies, there's a moment when everyone stops, takes a break, and explains to each other and to the audience what it's really all about. Let me get this real quick. This is not just what each side plans to do, but why. The hero side moment usually comes first, and it usually comes during the first half. So it would be like what we're talking about now. It would pretty much happen right now. When with the nemesis side coming in the second half, but exactly where and when is flexible. This is the moment in the Matrix when Morpheus shows Neo the birthing fields and holds up a battery. For humans, it's about the enslavement of mankind for the survival of machines. For the machines, it's the moment when Agent Smith tells Morpheus that humans are a disease and machines are the cure. Right? So you get both sides of the equation. I think right now you have Nate's side, which is the cult, probably explained by Cobalt, and that he learns that Nate's agency sent him in. Really, it's not really about the murderer. It's really not about solving the murder on the outside. It's about solving the murderers on the inside.
I really think the cult at one point controlled both the agency and the prison.
Yeah.
But somebody has taken the prison as their own and is running it their way, and that's separate from the cult, from the group. And that's the reason why they sent the dad in the first place, to root it out who's doing it, and he gets killed. So they convinced Nathan to do it, and I still think the idea of the cult of Cobalt Fox is kind of cool, but I don't know if that's either one of those groups. You know, maybe Cobalt Fox had his own cult that was part of the main group, and he did something to defy them, and they stripped him of everything and threw him in prison. Because I really think when Nathan and Cobalt escape, and Cobalt eventually sacrifices himself and gives everything over to Nathan to be the new Cobalt Fox, one of his goals is to rebuild the cult of Cobalt Fox. That's like book 3, part 3 of the story. But I think at some point, Cobalt Fox, which we've already said this numerous times, was a member of this group, was a part of this cabal, this cult. And he did something and was stripped of every power and thrown into the prison to die, and just there to rot away and be nothing. But he actually has all the knowledge. He has all the ability. He is the perfect mentor for Nathan inside and outside of the prison.
Mm-hmm.
He is the evil. What is it? What is it when he comes back around? He starts off lawful good, and then the other side it's unlawful good. Well, that's Cobalt Fox, the one that's in prison. He would do evil if he had to, but he wants to be redeemed.
Order law, disorder criminal, order criminal.
Yes. Cobalt Fox inside the prison is order criminal. He's a criminal. If he had to, he would snap your neck in order to survive and to move on, or to save somebody else that he cared about. He would kill in a heartbeat without hesitation, but he's not going to kill for fun, for pleasure, for sport. He's only going to kill in order to protect himself or somebody else. And I think at the end of the story, Nathan and Cobalt Fox, the Cobalt Fox in the prison, are on the same exact page. And by the end of the second story, he's the only Cobalt Fox, but he's still the order criminal. He's still everybody here knows what a good criminal is, a good guy criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Cobalt Fox, I think because of that fact, is the reason why the company or whatever, the cult or whatever, stripped him of everything and threw him in this prison. I see Cobalt Fox literally as the hero of this story. And Nathan is kind of like his Robin to Batman.
Yeah, but you can't do that though, right? Like, you can't have the main character be a side character.
Well, he's a side character in the story, but he's actually the main character throughout
a driving force.
If this is the origin of Cobalt Fox,
the original Cobalt Fox in this one is Obi-Wan, right? Like, you're thinking correctly, because if you remember in this part of Star Wars, Obi-Wan is the leader and Luke follows him, right? It's Obi-Wan that like we talked before, like takes off the guy's arms at the cantina and was like, oh, calm down, and these are not the droids you're looking for. It's the mentor that has all the power at this point in time, right? Mm-hmm. It's definitely Cobalt Fox that can save him from getting his ass murdered. If Cobalt Fox is the mentor in this scenario.
I think he is.
Yeah, I do too.
I just want to call out something cool that you said a couple of minutes ago that I think is worth emphasizing.
Well,
I really like the idea. Huh?
I said that's half of what I say is cool. Come on.
I know. Well, I really like the idea of, on the surface, this agency that Nathan is working for is trying to root out this corruption, this deal that the prison has with the superheroes. Like on the surface, the reasons are good and noble, and then behind the scenes, and maybe this is something that Nathan figures out later on that drives him away from this agency, is the agency originally controlled this prison and is trying to get control back.
Exactly.
Yeah, the problem isn't the deal. The problem is they're not making money off the deal or whatever.
Yeah, somebody somewhere stepped in and took control and locked them out, and is getting all the benefit from what's going on in the prison. And they don't know who that actually is. They don't know who that command structure is. They think it's the warden. They think it's the head of the security guards, but they don't know for sure. And when his dad goes in to try to root out who's actually in control, and when he figures it out, he knows it's the psychiatrist. That's when she convinces Cobalt Fox to kill him, to murder him. Because remember, Cobalt Fox is the one that actually did the murder. Wasn't the one that was in control, because, she's got that ability to push people into doing things. And, I think this story writes itself, Todd. Come on. Keep up. We all can see it. That's the great part. I think that's one of the very, like Blood and Steel, there are parts of Blood and Steel that I saw perfectly. The scenes just in my head. This one, there's multiple scenes. I just see visually as we're going along. So, but we do have to establish why Dad was there, and I think we're getting there. I think we're almost there.
Yeah.
And we need to, I think it's I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna be
Todd, start drawing.
I know. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna turn my air conditioner on because it's freaking hot in here. I'll be right back. Keep talking. Take over. You got this.
You guys are not going to believe what I found out just the other day. My kid, the fruit of my loins. You know what I'm trying to say?
Fruit of loom.
The fruit of my loins, I found out, does not like candy corn.
So he's sane.
Like any rational adult.
I know.
/ child.
Candy corn is the only acceptable Halloween candy. Period.
How?
Period.
Dare you?
Disgusting, peep-eating, degenerate scum.
I'm only allowed to eat candy corn products during Halloween, and literally in the last few weeks, I've had 2 bags of the pumpkins. Just a few at a time.
Of all the candy that's out there in the world,
man.
that he's going to risk dying to eat, because Andrew is diabetic, you guys.
Yes.
He goes for the candy corn, not the Snickers, not the Reese's peanut butter.
Get out more.
He goes for the candy corn.
That's not even in my top 10, man.
That's not in my top 100.
Yeah, well, I think it's the fact that I can only have it like one time a year, and it's for a very short amount of time, that it's my all-time favorite. But I absolutely adore. I probably would eat candy corn over Peeps any day of the week. And you guys know how much I love Peeps. I have a whole section of my YouTube channel called The Peep Show, where I taste it.
I swear to God, it's the most perfect thing you've ever seen, and it's just this fat bastard shoving those marshmallows in his mouth.
And it's Todd and Avery making fun of me, going, "Do it, do it, do it!" Especially when I say this is the grossest thing I've ever eaten. And
It's disgusting.
Yes.
And then he licks his fingers afterwards.
Oh, man, it's
a fucking horror show, dude.
I think all those videos are still on my Misfit Corner Scams channel.
Oh yeah,
out there wants to go check it out.
Andrew has a scam channel where he screws with scam callers that call him.
So you're not doing the scamming? Got it.
No.
I'm just wasting their time and screwing with them.
No, he trolls them until they lose their nerve, until they lose their shit and start cussing him out.
Yeah, we need to start promoting your channel, Drew. My bad.
Drew, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is your blood sugar when you test your blood sugar? Does the meter basically say, "Are you fucking kidding me?" on the readout?
Pretty much.
No, the the trick to it, and I told my nurse this, and she rolled her. You could literally hear her eyeballs rolling. I said, what I do is I test my blood sugar before I eat the candy corn carrot.
Oh, God.
So when I make a record of it, yeah.
Because I remember that I actually one time I actually broke down and I basically ate an entire bag of essentially lifesavers in like a single night because I have no impulse control when it comes to mints. And the next morning when I tested my blood sugar, because I am also a diabetic, I'm fairly certain the meter. I might have been hallucinating from like all the sugar that was still floating inside of me. I'm first at the meter I tested the blood, and the meter like blinked and basically said,
"What the fuck?
What FWTF?" Basically, it wasn't a number. It was WTF? Are you kidding me? So
I have recently eaten some candy corn and then forgot to take my blood sugar and did my blood sugar afterwards.
Oh no!
And the meter does come up and say, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It doesn't say
yeah,
that.
It just flashes like a skull and crossbone.
Well, no. Whatever number comes up, I like take 200 off of it, and then I put it in my journal.
Oh no!
Do you really?
I just gotta say,
God, Andrew, you're gonna die, dude. Don't die, Andrew. Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, speaking of, I've basically tried. I'm basically taking my health in hand. I don't eat anything after 5 o'clock. I avoid candy as much as I can. Although I have not yet given up beer because there are just some things that a man should not have to do, even for the sake of his health.
Well, see, I don't drink alcohol of any type anytime, and so I have that going for me.
You just substitute alcohol with Peeps.
Can you?
I don't get Peeps all year round, Todd. I only get them during certain times, Halloween and Easter, or when Peeps are out.
But
the Halloween ones suck because they're just plain sugar and marshmallow. They're not flavored.
Listen,
yes, just the Halloween ones.
Peeps are only on sale limited time throughout the year. Yet he always has them on hand.
Buys them in bulk.
I just want to say that MK Kronos has the right idea. Reese's in the freezer. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's one really quick.
Right there.
MK says, yeah, fruit of your loom. That was the last thing I heard. That's phenomenal. I love that, dude. My loom. Haha. Candy corn. MK says candy corn for the win. And KG's arguing, no way, Reese's rule. Dude, Reese's peanut butter cups are one of my all-time favorite candies.
They're amazing.
MK, then peanut brittle. Peanut brittle's pretty good, but Reese's peanut butter cups has me by the nut. Oh, MK says Reese's all day, but just saying love candy corn. And then, in the freezer. Now, are you talking about Reese's candy, like Reese's Pieces or Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yeah, in my store, I have a little bowl next to the register that says free candy. Kids ask your parents for permission first. And it's usually either, recently I had pumpkin pie Kit Kats and Reese's Bats and Pumpkins. But I do still have some left over from Easter, the coffee donut, the donut shop coffee Peeps in my store.
I'm glad
I'm down to maybe 3 or 4 packages, but I still have a few left.
I'm glad you moved the kids candy bowl. I was to your store because I really had a problem when you had it inside of your van.
Number one, I don't have a van anymore.
Anymore. The police impounded it.
I kept getting in trouble for all the balloons hanging out the back.
Oh, what a balloon, Georgie!
People thought I was a clown. I had to tell them, no, I'm a comic book store owner.
That has kids in the trunk.
Just taking them to the store so they can learn to read comics, don't you know?
Yeah, So funny. Oh my god.
It's when you poly bag and grade them, it's a little weird.
Oh. Drew is scaring me, KG.
KG says Drew is
I am concerned. Is this live stream evidence?
No. This can't be used as evidence against me, even if I say it myself. I think, right?
I think that's how that works.
I disavow.
Wait, has anybody been incriminated based on a YouTube live stream?
I'm
Almost
sure.
certain.
Well, the criminals that live streamed what they were doing.
Yeah. When you get to the Supermax superhero prison, let us know how it is.
Yeah. Jeez.
I'll just be anxiously awaiting the subpoena in the mail regarding this
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh man, I was just getting ready to go political with a comment, but I'm not going to.
No.
Nope.
Damn, I'll have to save it for my show.
Save it for the green room. All right, so I think we got a good. Now I'm just imagining Andrew with a bowl of candy in his van. What's it all about? The fruit of his telling kids, "Do you want to be the fruit of my loom?"
Oh God.
God.
All right, I'm quitting the stream. I'm out.
Anyway,
See you.
back on track. We got this. We can do this. So we basically, I think we have a pretty good understanding. Break into two. There's certainly a little bit of work we'll do to flesh out. We'll take another pass. We have some decent B story stuff. I guess the one thing we need to do to hook up with the B story before the midpoint, and we can do this later. The B story definitely has a psychologist. Maybe we go late. We'll do another when we do our second pass. We can actually go in and talk about what that looks like. The midpoint is basically it's the midpoint of our story. Let me give you a good reading for it. In these kind of stories and superhero stories, 3 or 4 different things happen at the midpoint together. It's the bit at the top of the roller coaster and a little to either side where the momentum slows and then stops, and we hang in midair, not knowing which way is up, before picking up speed from the right side or for the ride down the other side. These 2 or 3 scenes are emotionally very intense, but physically very still, and they are all the more intense for that stillness. And that is important. We don't know what's coming in the second half, and it has to be set up properly now. There's no time to do it later. Like other genres, the midpoint must raise the stakes. But in superheroes, that's done by changing what victory means for the hero, whether by altering his view of the world, which we've been talking about, and how he sees himself, by pointing out his Achilles heel, or by adding to the price of failure, which I think we should definitely do. It's the final act for Act 2A and the setup for Act 2B, because we're moving to that's at like 6 o'clock. So we're moving right to the other side of that. So there are 3 things. So we're going to do, let me write these up now. There's 3 points. There's off to see the Oracle. That's the first one. That's why I love the Matrix. Ghost of Times Past. And then the third is Nemesis Revealed. All right, so I'm going to pop these in order so we can just kind of have some good structure. Oops. Okay, Nemesis Revealed. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to just read these. I think we actually kind of know off to see the Oracle because we've talked about it. That was one of our early conversations. But off to see the Oracle. Hold on 1 second. Someone's texting me there. Oh, got it. Off to see the Oracle is fresh off of his last trial run. The mentor reveals that they are off to see the Oracle. This is the woman who will reveal, or male, I guess, who will reveal the hero's destiny and hopefully confirm his status as the chosen one. If there's no Oracle, then the hero goes off on another trial run. But either way, This is the actual midpoint break, the calmest of the calm physically, the most tumultuous emotionally. This is the first time the hero must balance his normal self with his superhero self. His first true effort at synthesis. In Iron Man, notorious womanizer Tony goes to the benefit party where he discovers the one woman he can't keep his eyes off is the one he never even considered, his assistant, Pepper Potts. To his own surprise, he doesn't kiss her. He must learn to combine his own irrepressible boyish charm with the adult responsibility he's being forced to learn if he's not going to mess up the most important and stable relationship in his life. Right? And of course, in the Matrix, it's literally called the Oracle. And it's like there is no spoon, that kind of thing. So, what would the Oracle be here? What do you guys think? I think Andrew's gonna be right back, so we will go around the horn. Flint, what do you think?
I mean, maybe.
So just to give it a tip, one of the things that we've talked about before is like the fact that originally we had Nate going into this prison to find a guy who knew about his father's death, right?
Yeah.
That could be the Oracle, right? Off to see the Oracle. We could modify it a little bit to kind of like reveal his destiny, kind of a thing.
Could this be where he meets the therapist?
No, I think that's the B story.
It's the B story.
Yeah, we got to introduce her earlier, and I think the B story is kind
right.
of that's the emotional part of it.
Hey, Todd, quick question.
Sure.
Did we want to include any elements from Blood and Metal in this, or is this a totally separate standalone?
No, we could. So that's a great question. I think we totally can. I would love to. I mean, I don't think it needs to be like a hardcore tie-in, but we've established, like for instance, we've established in Blood and Metal that there's that primordial gem that could show up here or something. It could be on a debt, and it could be on the psychiatrist's debt. You know what I mean? Maybe she has it. Like,
all right. Because you mentioned the Oracle. Well, in Blood and Metal, and I'm writing it right now as I'm doing this, but we have the character Cirrus, and she does survive to the end. Sorry, spoiler alert, people. So maybe her or someone like that, or maybe the gem. Someone with the gem. Hey, or maybe it could be Stanwell. Sorry, not Solar Mannequin. The guy, Solar Mannequin. I mean, maybe he's in the prison.
Maybe. I think that would be too deep of a tie. Although I love the idea of including the gem. That's pretty dope.
All right, so how about this then? I don't know. I mean, I'm just spitballing here. So, I'm. All right, so maybe the psychiatrist could have the gem, and that could be tied into it. And as far as the Oracle goes, maybe it's the Cirrus, but she survived to the present day.
Maybe the therapist derives her power from the gem somehow.
Yeah, that might work. Yeah, I mean the gemstone is like a massively powerful thing.
Maybe the therapist is like a great granddaughter of the Cirrus.
Well, actually,
maybe they're related somehow.
Or maybe she is Cirrus, but she's found a way to rejuvenate herself.
Or at least make it look like she has.
Well, if that's the case, we wouldn't reveal that to like book 3.
No.
Yeah, that'd be.
There has to be something else connecting it. I like the idea of the gem being somewhere in her office.
All right, so yes, maybe she's a descendant or a disciple or something like that.
Maybe she wears it like an amulet around her neck or something. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or maybe she just found the gem and is kind of figured out how to unlock some of its powers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what gives her powers.
I agree.
That's what gives
her powers.
Ew.
I like the idea that she has it on her person. She's wearing it as an amulet, like a necklace of some kind, a ring, something.
Yeah, that could be cool.
It kind of provides a cool weakness too that you might exploit in later books or later series or whatever. She can be parted from her power.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as far as the Oracle goes, then maybe instead, well, you know what it could be. You know, I'm thinking maybe it's maybe what they have in the prison is like kind of like equivalent of like the of like the Merovingian from like the second and third Matrix movies. You know, he's in the prison with the others, or maybe he's a worker, but he's basically the guy who has who has his fingers in who has his fingers in all things. And he can provide if he wants, but he's going to want a price in return.
Maybe, yeah. So that's a good idea. So it definitely seems like it's either one or two. The oracles can be one or two things. It can be a person, like in the Matrix, where you literally go to an oracle, and this person is going to reveal the hero's destiny and hopefully confirm the status that they are the chosen one, kind of a thing. Or it can be the oracle. Also, doesn't have to be a person. It can be sort of that aha moment, like the example of Tony Stark going to that benefit party where he discovers the one woman that he actually cares about is the one person he never considered, which is Pepper Potts. And to his surprise, he doesn't kiss her. He has to confront himself, that playboy attitude with new responsibility of being Iron Man. So that's kind of like that aha moment. So like that internal aha moment. So it could either be him to what Zach is saying. It could either be like he actually goes, he finds the guy at the weird, the basement prison, kind of gets that big clue and learns about his destiny and that effect, or this is the part where he realizes like he's completely fucked and his life is ruined and he has to become a new person, right? And maybe it's probably a little bit of both. Right. I mean, that also is a Ghost of Times Past, actually. So that's actually probably Ghost of Times Past, more or less. But do we want to go like just straight up? He goes to see the person in the basement.
I have an idea. Can we go back to what it's about?
Yeah, sure.
So like the agency sent him in, and the agency was like perceived to be good, that they're helping to solve this crime or figure out what happened to his father. And then he goes there and he learns that this other group is doing like evil Fight Club, right? And so it kind of seems like you have like good and evil from the agency that sent him, and then the evil Fight Club. But then what if there's a way that we make the Fight Club like end up not being as evil? Maybe like the prisoners were benefiting greatly or something from that. And then in going to see the Oracle, he actually learns that maybe from one of the guys that was fighting, that, hey, no, we actually like this, and these guys, things are way better now than they were before. Kind of highlighting that it's the agency that sent him that's the bad guy, or the evil group.
Oh, like kind of like even though we're getting slaughtered, it was actually worse before when these other guys were in control.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And that the survivors actually get some kind of benefit.
Interesting. Like they get their freedom or something.
Something, yeah, maybe their freedom or yeah, some extra luxuries at the prison or something that makes it worthwhile for them, and they're better off now than before.
Ooh, what if when the prison was controlled by the agency or the cult, they were literally cannon fodder to the superhumans? The villains took over the prison, or a group of villains took over the prison, with the psychiatrist being the leader, but nobody knows she's the leader, because that's the best way to protect yourself, is to be the guy behind the guy who's in the front taking over everything. And maybe now the rules are no longer your cannon fodder for the superheroes. If you can kill the superhero, maybe they let you go. Maybe you get free or something. Maybe before it was you were just being thrown. It was like the Christians being thrown into the lion den. Now it's a lion getting thrown into a lion den. there's a chance that you could survive and win and actually be free. Maybe that's what happened to the villain that Nathan caught. He had gone he was in the prison, he fought, he killed a superhero, and they let him out. But instead of going the straight and narrow and staying out of trouble, he did something bad, got on Nathan's radar. Nathan captured him again and was sending him back to that prison. He's like, no, don't send me back to that prison because it's torture.
You know, because one of the tropes you see in Marvel, DC, doesn't matter. They have these prisons built for superheroes,
right?
Super villains, but they're always breaking out. They're always getting out. This is how they get out.
What if they're being released? Literally,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, because that's in Marvel, that's in DC. They get thrown in Arkham or the other prison in DC. What is it? That Ethan created.
Blackgate.
Yeah, Blackgate. There's also another one. And Marvel's the same way. S.H.I.E.L.D. locks them up in special facilities, and they still get out.
MK says Bella Reeve.
Bella Reeve, yeah. That's another one. That's a Flash one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, you're like,
but
hey.
Here's this. That actually stays with our whole theme of everybody's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Everybody in the prison is still a bad guy, but they're not being used as cannon fodder and chopped liver. They're actually getting an opportunity to be freed.
I like how this is like what's better is that now they have a slim chance in hell of living and surviving. Like it's pretty funny. Like,
well, isn't that like the theme of Suicide Squad? If you complete enough missions, you get time taken off and you get freed. So that'd be the reason why they would do it. Well, why would a supervillain willingly go into an arena against another superpowered villain that's going to kick your ass and possibly kill you?
Yeah.
Unless you had the ability to fight back and get freed.
That's right.
Wasn't that part of the death race thing? If you won like so many races, you got free.
Yep.
We're just doing it as a gladiator arena type thing. But see, here's the thing. When the agency controlled the prison, they didn't give a rat crap about any of the prisoners. They were literally cannon fodder. When the villains took over and took control, they had to maintain, but they maintained on their own terms. And maybe the people that are in power in the prison are the leaders of the gangs, and what they believe is the warden, the head guy, when actuality, the warden is just a puppet for the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
They're all puppets for the psychiatrist in one way or another, you know?
Iron Heights.
Yes, Iron Heights. That's another. Yes, that's
I had to look. I was like, what?
That's the one that what's his name was involved with.
Yeah,
that was from Flash. Sorry, they have so many prisons in the DC universe.
Yeah, they got a lot of supervillains.
They do.
And they have really dumb names for their cities.
Yeah, because they're meant to be fictional versions of kind of realistic cities.
Well, actually, I once saw. I think I once saw a map of in the DC world. Actually, Metropolis is actually on the southern tip of New Jersey on one side of the Delaware River, and Gotham City's on the other side.
Yes.
They're actually neighbors.
Yep.
So the way it was in the Batman Superman movie is actually correct, which was interesting. So there's actually a map of that floating around somewhere.
I didn't know that.
So basically,
in the Steve Rude World's Finest, they were literally, you could see each other's coastline.
Yeah, so basically Metropolis is supposed to be Camden, New Jersey, which, if you know anything about Camden, is hilarious in a very sad sort of way.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. All right, so this is interesting. Does that mean that the Oracle, all this is kind of discovered, like, by Nate as he goes to the person in the basement, or is that not happening anymore? I don't know if it's necessary, like the person in the basement. Quiet.
What? What you said didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. Something about in the basement.
Right.
We can act like we don't understand the question for 14 minutes and then have him.
I know.
Take it up
Like, well, so what? No. So again, going back to what we're saying, like I think what we've come up with about the setup is awesome. But off to see the Oracle is. So when we started this, the reason that Nate was convinced to go into the prison was because we said, and we can change it, but there was a guy in that prison that knows who killed his dad. And so that could be the Oracle. Like he actually finally gets to that person, and that's where he learns a little bit more about his dad and his destiny and why he's there.
Well, we also talked about that guy being dead, and that's
Right.
when he really is like, okay, prison break time. We got to get the hell out of here.
True. All right, how's this? We'll skip this for now because I think we're kind of like meh on it. Well, I'll give you a choice. Do you want to try one of these three, or do you guys want to just shoot the shit for 15 minutes, 10 minutes? Probably shoot the shit.
Okay, we can shoot poop.
Let's do it. All right, Andrew, books. What are you working on? What do you got on your table? And I see you got books, man.
Oh, well, the reason why I texted you last night to see if you were going to join my live stream.
Yeah.
Is because I had a story to tell you all about a collection of books I bought this past weekend.
Oh, all right.
And
yeah, I got the invite to your stream.
Well, as soon as I started, the telephone rang and I had to answer the phone, so I had to put it on mute. Then I had to step away from and I'm recording me just not even being at the desk. And by the time I got back, I said, screw it. I just canceled it and turned it off and emailed you both back and said, forget about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But yeah, I bought a guy came into the store Sunday, and I told you guys a story about the one guy that brought in like 2 boxes of Avengers comics, and he was trying to get a certain amount of money, and I only had a very small amount of money on me, and it was also a rent weekend, so I really didn't want to break into my checking account or savings account money, so I made him an offer. And he kind of said no. And then I said, well, the guy at the end who sells comics might buy, but I know he's a cheapskate, so he probably wouldn't buy it. So I lent him my hand cart so he could take the books down to that guy. And he came back, gave me back the hand cart and said the guy offered a little bit more than I did, so he took it. And I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have let it happen. I shouldn't have let that collection leave the store. Well, this weekend I had a collection come in that I'm looking through the books going, I cannot let this guy leave. This is a collection I've got to have. 2 small boxes, cram-packed of silver-aged books. 10-cent, 12-cent, 15-cent books, action comics. There's a couple detectives in there. There was some modern stuff in there. It was probably about a fourth of it was modern stuff. But an entire box of nothing but silver-aged stuff. And a lot of it was in really good condition.
That's awesome.
I made the guy an offer. He said he was trying to make money he said he owned a pool service company. And he was trying to make payroll and he needed a certain amount. And I made him an offer. And then I went up just a little bit more because I knew there was an ATM nearby. And I said, you know what? Because I'm willing to help you out. I went up a little bit more and I gave him $50 more than we originally agreed on in order to help the guy out. But I still feel like I made out like a bandit.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to show you guys some of these comics. And I mean, there's nothing in there that would there's no Amazing Fantasy 15. There's none of that kind of stuff in there. But just going through, I found at least here. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about.
Well, as you're doing that, KG said put up Drew's links. So I've put up Misfit Corner Comics LLC.com at the bottom. This is the website. And it's pretty cool. I'm going to show you the store intro video here in a minute. In fact, I'll play it. I just won't play it.
That is such an old video. Good God. I don't know how old that one is.
Well, I know, like some of these pictures, there's some pictures of you that look very young. You look at that store.
Yeah, that's my store.
This is a store.
Well, when you go inside, you'll see what I mean by these are old pictures. Oh, actually, no, those are kind of newer pictures. No, those are newer ones.
Look at that. Look at that awesome shop, man. So good. Such a good shop. And here, I'll play this and we'll just, I'll mute it. while you're talking.
Oh, okay.
The Steadicam is a great thing.
Well,
KG
see, look,
KG
like,
says
you can see the DVDs are on like a wooden bookshelf and not an actual bookshelf.
yeah, look at this.
This is an old video.
I know. That's all right. KG says just subscribe to his YouTube channel. MK Cronus says class act, Drew. Been there with payroll.
Yeah. Oh hell, that's a view of the boxes.
That's
the
a
bookshelves
wow,
aren't even up in the middle.
To the center.
Yeah. Like I said, this is an old video. I
think that Ray collection, that Joe Quesada Ray collection is now mine.
Yeah, all those Star Wars figures are gone. Those have all been sold. All those are gone. Those have
but you've replaced it. You have other stuff.
Yeah, I know. But that's funny.
Lego figures.
Yeah, that was my DVD selection. It was like 4 shelves. I now have like 4 bookcases.
Just understand. This is basically Andrew's like personal collection.
Oh, none of that shit's there no more. All those pops, I got rid of all that.
Basically, this started with Andrew's personal collection.
Yeah, I tell people the story all the time. I had in a storage unit boxes and boxes of comics and toys, and my wife said, "You need to do something about that." So I started bringing out the comics at a table up in the front and selling them on Saturdays.
At a tiny table.
Yeah, I got tired of lugging the boxes out, so I rented a single store, built it up, then needed more room, so I got a double store, needed more room, and then this space became available, and I jumped at it. Shit, none of that's there anymore. All that stuff's gone. All that stuff's been sold.
Well, that's good. You need to sell stuff.
Yeah, I know. I need to make a new video.
I just love looking at all this stuff, man. It's so good. Look at that. There's his artwork. That's original artwork on the wall.
Yeah.
You still have that up there, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right on. It's a scam.
Yeah, that's how bad because that's on the scam channel now. So. All right, so here, highlight me for a quick second. I'll show you a couple of these comments.
All right, I'll highlight you. All right, let's do this. Wait 1 second. I keep seeing my mouse on this screen and getting confused because it's actually on that screen. One. All right.
All right. So this is Action Comics number 140 from 1960. It's a 10-cent comic. And as you can see, it has Bizarro and Bizarro's family on the cover.
Oh,
wow. This is actually the first appearance of Bizarro Supergirl.
Really?
In a 9.4 edition. It's a $500 book.
Wow.
This one is probably a good even 7 or maybe 7.5. I mean, it's in great condition. But this book literally could pay for the entire collection with just one. And I have more.
That's awesome.
I have these two are beat up, but I have this right here. This is actually.
Wait, now, did you know that when you, because you and I we're not like gem hunters. So did you know when you saw that was like this first appearance, or were you just like it looks?
Let me show you one of the 2 books that was on the very top of the box.
Yeah, because we're like modern people. Like you show me like Spawn #1, and I get it, but if you show me that, like I would have no clue that was a first appearance of anybody.
Well, I didn't know that either, but the simple fact that it was a 10-cent comic means it's got to be worth something. Hold on a second. But, let me find this. I got the one comic that was on the very top of the box.
Yeah.
You might recognize to the point where this was like, okay, I'm definitely offering this guy some money for this book. But let me show it to you. It's like the only issue of Flash that was in there. Do you recognize this cover?
Yeah,
I do. Yeah,
where he says, "Stop! Don't pass up this issue. My life depends on it."
Yeah, I recognize it, but I don't remember why.
Yeah, this is Kevin Nolan did a homage to this on either Green Lantern or Flash.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was Green Lantern. Like recently, like within the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But this is what he used as his homage. This is a $120 book by itself.
Wow.
The condition, it's not bad. It's not horrible. But I have a buddy of mine who just told me about a guy he knows that does comic pressing, where they press the comics and clean them up. Yeah. So a lot of these are going to go to, a lot of these are going to get graded. But check this out. This is Action Comics number 293. It's a 12-cent issue. It is the first appearance of Supergirl's horse. Now, you may not think that's very important, but
Super
first
horse.
appearance, yeah, I know. This is a $320 book
Good Lord.
in near mint condition,
Holy crap!
What?
and I have two
That's
copies.
insane.
Holy crap.
So, yeah, one's a little bit more beat up than the other, but this one's got a gorgeous
You just got hit
spine.
the freaking gold mine, dude.
Yeah,
Did you,
dude,
were you
nice.
freaking out?
There was literally like 5 books in this box alone. If graded and came back at really good grades, paid for everything else. But yeah, there's a whole bunch more stuff in here, and
Yeah, the single book by itself pays for everything.
yeah, check this out. This is actually the most valuable book in this.
Oh, maybe that's where I remember it. MK says Alex Ross did that Flash cover in a redo.
Oh, yes, maybe that's it. Maybe that's where I was thinking.
Maybe it wasn't Kevin Nolan.
Well, I know Kevin Nolan did a version of it as well. That's the one I can remember. It was in Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. See, I said it right. Freaking A! Didn't even have to think about it.
Oh yeah, usually he says corpse.
That's right.
Sorry about that.
That's right.
Closed the window by mistake.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
All
I'm
right.
just, pulling
So,
it back.
needless to say, I was going to show these off to you guys. Oh, here's the other one. This is probably the most valuable book in the series. It is Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 17. Super old. It's like a $600 book.
Jesus.
But the condition, it's a little beat up. There's some corner stuff, but it probably would come back a high 6, maybe a 7.
So like $100.
And even in that case, it's 100, 150 easy. But
Wow.
yeah, once I get them pressed and sent off and graded, I mean, I just can't wait. I'm gonna end up having to send
And
like
you've got
3
a
or 4
box
at a
full of
time.
that stuff.
I have a whole box full of it. Yeah,
Dude,
And
you
what's
just
the-
got you at the month. Wait. Did you mention? You don't have to if you don't want to, but did you mention how much you paid for the box?
I don't think I mentioned, but
You probably pay like $250 for all of it.
$350 for all of it.
$350.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I originally told the
Phenomenal.
guy,
Still phenomenal.
but when he went out to his car to get the boxes, I counted up how much money I had on me. Now this was Sunday, and I had a really great Saturday, and Sunday was extremely slow. You can take me off as I don't have to be highlighted here.
Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in.
I have the choice to ban him from the studio.
Okay, so to finish the story up, right before the guy came back, I did a quick count of how much money I had cash-wise. Now, for me, sometimes because I'm one of the few people in the flea market that actually can take a card, I can take a card, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. I'm able to.
Ethereum? Huh?
No, not yet. No, not unless PayPal does it. But so while he went to go get the comics, I quickly counted how much cash I had on me, and I only had about $200 on me. And when the guy came back, and I'm looking through the books, and I'm like, I cannot let this guy leave. This is an awesome collection. I want to have these. So I said to him, listen, I'm going to offer you $200, but there's an ATM right there. I can go get another 100 and make it 300. And he told me he was trying to get $450 to pay his payroll for the week. And I said, and I offered him 300, and he accepted. And I said, I'll go 350, just because I can see what's in here, and I want to help you out.
You're the
And he said, okay. So I ended up giving
make
him
it 450.
600.
I was generous. But I did not want him to go to the guy down the way and have that guy offer him 400 and take it from me. You know?
Yeah. No, that's fantastic.
No, you're going to make your money back on those.
Oh yeah.
You're going to do really good.
You got your store gems, dude.
Yeah. Well, the other box, which has the more modern stuff in it, I've already gone through, put it in my inventory, and priced it all. If based on the prices I put on there, which is maybe only $1 or $2 a piece, there's a couple of like $10 books in there, but the majority of them are $1 and $2 books. If I sold just that box and not the Silver Age box, I'd make back my money plus some.
Wow.
There was enough books in there, enough good books in there that, yeah.
Nice. That's fantastic.
Your hunting makes me want to like do that. Like scrounge around and just like buy random people's
I have
short boxes and long boxes.
There's an older guy that comes to my store all the time, and he's always trying to tell me how I need to run my business. And I listen to him and I humor him and whatever. I'll get out of here. But he used to own a business. He used to own a comic book store, and now all he does is sell stuff on eBay. And he sends out stuff to be graded all the time and gets it back, and he buys something for $1 and then flips it for 50, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things he was telling me, he says, we're in a position right now as a comic book buyer, in that when it's the recession or inflation or people are losing their jobs, people who have collections are willing to sell because they'd rather have the cash than the comics. And he said, you will have people coming to you more frequently with better books because they need the cash now more than they need the comics. And this is a prime example of that. I've actually bought like 4 collections in the last month and a half. And a couple had some really good stuff in, nothing like this, but stuff that I knew I could sell. And I'm going to a show this weekend, tomorrow in Orlando, and hopefully pick up some more modern comics to fill in some holes. But yeah, I'm constantly out there looking for new books. And this was just I'm not sure if this guy knew what he had or if he knew what he had. I was not 100% sure. I don't know if this is a collection that he
probably not, man. Most people don't. I don't think.
Well, I mean,
you never know, but
you do. You don't ever know. But he told me a situation. Whether he was telling me the truth or not, I don't know. But I made him an offer. I even made it sweeter to help him, and I definitely got the better end of the deal. But
sure,
when people need money, they're willing to sell their stuff. So, not that I'm saying I take advantage of it, but.
No, you gave him a great deal. You helped him out. I mean, that's what business is about, dude.
So we'll see what happens.
That's awesome, man. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, nice pulls, man.
No, I can't wait to show you guys some more of these books. I mean, there's some.
So should we tell people that you do a stream on Fridays?
I do, but I might not be back in time from Orlando to do the stream tomorrow night.
Oh, right. Okay, that's right. You're going.
Oh, yeah, and he does it on the comic channel.
Yeah, the comic channel.
He's got 3 channels.
Oh, look at this one.
Wait, do I need to put you on focus again?
If you want to, that's fine.
Oh, no way! Nice, Neil Adams. Dude.
Is this not a great cover?
Yeah, that's classic.
Robin, what happened to you as he disintegrates in his hands?
Oh my gosh!
Is that not gorgeous? Now, the book itself, there's some nicks all up down the spine. I mean, it's a well-loved book, but in mint condition, it's an $80 book.
Look how brilliant that cover is.
Oh yeah, there's some gorgeous stuff.
I love that logo treatment too. MK says he says I still have holes in my Nightfall series from 93-94. When I get time, I'll get your numbers and head over sometime.
Those are very common books, believe it or not, but they're out there.
Nightfall was the Kelly Jones, right?
Well, the covers, yeah.
Yeah.
Check this out. Amazing Spider-Man number 107.
Oh wow.
The only problem is
that's Romita Sr., yeah?
On
the inside?
But the issue itself looks like it's been water damaged.
Oh.
Because it's all wrinkly.
Oh yeah, look at that.
But let's see.
Definitely a reader copy.
Stan Lee and John Romita.
Boom.
John Romita Sr.
Look at that interior page, man. Look at how much stuff is going on in that page.
Hey, so that's mine now.
It's a reader copy, yeah, man.
Well, actually, no. I did put one aside for you, Todd.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, sell them that one too.
Well, we'll see. But here,
I love my John Romitas, man. My John Romita, my Gil Kane's.
Yeah, but you'll like this one better.
Oh,
it's
nice.
It's a nice Walter Simonson. Now it's definitely a reader copy. I mean, it's not.
I'm pretty sure I have that,
man. Yeah, but it's a good one. I put aside for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Walter Simonson Thors are fantastic.
Yes, they are.
Walter Simonson Thor and Walter Simonson Fantastic Four is like a master.
And, and X Factor was pretty good too.
And his X Factor was brilliant. Yeah.
Now this one's pretty beat up, but it's a pretty looking cover.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Who did that?
Fantastic Four 127.
Is that a John? That's not a Byrne.
Damn, now you're gonna make me look.
This is the part where we nerd out and like
Yeah.
and Dusty and Zach are just really quiet.
I'm just taking
Comics.
it all in.
KG says, making me want to break out my comic boxes and look through them.
Yeah, man. You should.
Ditto. Oh, yeah, man.
It's Big John Buscema.
Buscema, really?
Yep,
oh,
yep.
man.
Nice stuff, but it's
really show page.
This one's really beat up though.
Really beat up.
That's all right.
The interior pages look great, but the covers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Well,
reader copies, man. People need cheap reader copies.
I need
Yeah.
reader copies. That's all I need is reader copies, man.
Well,
Dude, that's how I have Jack Kirby comics. I don't have like the nice ones. I have beat up ones from 50-cent bins, man. Especially that era where all of Fantastic Four was just reprints of earlier issues.
Do you want to see a great cover?
Yeah.
I believe it's Neil Adams, but I'm not 100% sure. This is Amazing Adventures of Superman number 243. Look at that cover.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. That does kind of look like a Neil. That arms are Neil Adams, yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
this
cool.
one's
I've never seen
really,
that.
really, this one's really beat up. So
I've never seen that before.
I don't think you've ever heard of this one, but
Reader copies.
Space
Space
Family
Family
Robinson,
Space
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Oh,
I've never
Gold
seen it.
Gold Key.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, even those reader copies are still $5-10 books, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, let me see if I can find anything else.
If you've got a box full of them, you're good.
A whole box full. Yes.
MK has a question for you, Drew.
Yeah.
He says, Drew, do you still get older sets of the comic cards?
There's not a lot of people out selling their comic cards right now, but I have seen people with them. The only ones that are really popular that people are looking for, believe it or not, are those Marvel Series 1.
I've got
the set
Series 2.
everybody's
I think,
looking
over here.
for.
Yeah, the series 1, I got into it too late. I don't have that whole set. Now,
But why-
series 2 and 3, I have them all.
Why Series 1? What's so special about just because it's the earliest?
Believe it or not,
It can sell for almost 1,000.
when CGC started grading the cards, people considered that first series the rookie cards for some of the characters because it was the first time they were put up. Yes, and so like Nova and other people that was the first time they were on a card, they considered it their rookie cards. So,
Jeez.
yeah.
Now I feel bad for selling them. Because you have all of them, right? You've got all the sets and San
I've got
Julian
complete sets, but I used to have boxes and boxes of the duplicates.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did with them. But
Oh, yeah, we used to buy those things by the case.
Yeah.
look at this. This is a really pretty Lois Lane issue.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw where,
Cent issue.
nice. I saw where somebody sold a
That's a Kurt Swan cover, yeah?
Do you believe that there was a time when a standalone Lois Lane comic? Guess what the issue number of this is?
What's that?
Oh, this one's 31. I have some that are in the hundreds.
Yeah.
But yeah, they actually published Lois Lane comics and they were popular.
MK says, oh man, ditches stream to throw open his collector folders.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's one.
That Kurt Swan cover was dope, dude.
Here's one. Action Comics number 309. It's like there's a tear like on the front, like somebody put a piece of tape on it and then pulled it off, so the guy's face is missing.
Yeah.
But this is an appearance of JFK in Action Comics, like right after he died, in the fact that it was written and drawn before he died.
Oh, no way.
And then it was published after his
wow.
death, where it was like one of his first appearance in a comic after his death.
Oops.
Yeah. I wonder if it was predicted he was be assassinated in this.
That was
issue.
also Kurt Swan. Kurt Swan did most of those books. He was like wasn't he like the Superman artist for like
For a long time, yeah.
20 years or something?
Yeah. There's a whole crap load of stuff in here. World's
I
Finest.
love those books, man. I don't know, like, I mean, I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I recognize the artist, but I've never even looked at half those books back from before the 80s and 70s.
This is Lois Lane number 83. Has Superman on the cover, thinking to himself, "What have I done? I forced Lois to ride with a cycle gang, and I've made Clark Kent quit his chicken posse."
What?
Has Lois Lane as part of a biker gang.
That's a crazy good cover, though.
Some of these covers are freaking hilarious.
They're weird, man.
Yeah, but this is like a $60 book in near mint condition, so it's probably worth at least a good $20 or $30.
What's a chicken gang, Andrew?
I have no idea. I haven't read the comic. And it's Chicken Posse. Pose. At least I think that's what.
Are you gonna read this and report back what the Chicken Posse is?
Absolutely.
Will you actually read these?
Maybe.
I guess
well, I did try reading some of them. Here's a funny one. This is Action Comics number 383. I actually have, for some reason, 3 copies of the comic.
What?
And they're $50 books a piece, and they range, like, one of these is in really, really nice condition, one's a little beat up, and one's got like spine damage. But I mean,
damn,
yeah. So that's why I'm not 100% sure if this was this guy's collection or not, or if he got it from somebody.
He stole it from his father.
Any Detective Comics in there?
Just that one. Well, then no, there was another issue in here somewhere.
Remember, I'm still looking for Detective Comics 481, that Marshall Rogers issue. One of those Marshall
What's
Rogers.
that one, Avery?
Oh, it's, remember when
oh, here's the other
Kelly
one.
Jones.
Oh, the
wow.
Night of the Batman.
Wait, who did that?
That's not Neil Adams.
You're gonna make me open it up and look. I think it's Aparo, but I don't think so. I think it's
Aparo?
before Aparo, whatever.
Is it? I'm looking to see if it's one of Marshall Rogers' issues.
Art by Ernie Chan.
Okay, Ernie Chan.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother-in-law's kind of already claimed this one, but I'm showing it to you anyway. But it's not bad condition. I mean, I'm so looking. Dude, check this out. This is a funny cover. This is a gorilla in a library called From Beyond the Unknown, saying, "Hand over those 2 books. When I read these 3 novels, I'll be able to conquer the world." And it's Treasure Island, Moby Dick, and Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Dude, those are the kind of books I love, man.
yeah.
Like, just ridiculous.
That looks so cool.
Yeah.
Stories to stagger the imagination.
This is a 20-cent book from, like, I think that at that point it was considered the Bronze Age, because I think silver was 10 and 12 cents, and then Bronze Age, or 10, 12, and 15, and then at some point in the 15 range it switched over to Bronze Age. But I've had a lot of Bronze Age books in my store. Those are the 20, 25, 30, 35 cent books. But yeah, a whole crap load of 10 cent, 20, 12 cent books, and I'm just thrilled.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's
I
so
can't
good,
wait to
man.
see what happens.
So good. Well, it's an awesome stream, man. So good. We got stuff done in lore games. Everyone's participating, and then we got some super nerd comic stuff. And Dusty,
yeah, I just wish Dusty would.
And Zach fell asleep.
Yeah, I just wish Dusty would shut up and let me talk. I mean, good.
Oh
God.
God.
No, I was paying attention actually, and I was just yeah, it's I'm just thinking that I'm just thinking of something that I think someone I think it was Hugh Howard, the guy who wrote the Marvel biography, once wrote that the greatest friend any comic book collector has are unopened trunks sitting in people's attics, packed by moms who packed up their sons' rooms after they went off to college, and instead of throwing out their comics, figured, I'll just pack them away. He can deal with it later.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I'm betting that somewhere out there, sitting in a cardboard box in a basement or an attic or in a back cupboard, is a mint condition Superman 1 that is yet to be discovered.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Well, there was a Superman #1 that went up for auction a couple of years ago. It was like a 9.8 edition.
Yep.
Oh
And
my
the
God.
person who found it in the bottom of a cedar trunk, in which they had opened up the comics and laid them flat on the trunk as they were just using it as packing material. The comics as packing material, and cedar is non-acidy, so it kept the books in mint condition. And when they found the books, they were unfolded, so they were laid flat the entire time, and they were in a cedar chest. So somebody sent them off and had them graded, and it's like the highest graded Superman #1 there is, and it went for millions and millions of dollars.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
that's-
that person just flipped it.
Oh yeah, well, the person who had it sold it to somebody who then in turn had it graded and then sold it for millions.
when I was in high
And
school,
and then it got flipped again,
Yes,
when
I think
I was,
Gatsby owns it now. I think.
probably.
when I was in high school in the '90s, you know, and like this is like I was a freshman in '91, just as the great '90s comic book boom started. You know, the Image guys broke up and everything. You know, Image Comics formed. I remember like every other week there was a new #1 coming out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, like new variant editions. I mean, I remember reading the Death of Superman. I actually bought like 3 copies of that, and you know, like one to read, and like one like there was this one that had this holographic cover on it.
Yeah.
And people were saying, "You gotta hold on to it, man. Hold on to it. That's gonna be like your college fund in like 20 years." And at the time I thought, really, there's a lot of these out here, and turns out I was right. You know, it's so many #1s were printed. So many, you know, people like spent like fortunes buying up like boxes of, you know, X-Men #1, or you know, the 5th X-Men #1 in like 5 years, and today you can buy them for like 50 cents a pop. Not much more than they were back in the day.
Hell yeah, man.
But some of the other issues are actually going up in value, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, the funny thing, and I always tell people this. One of the comics that people from that era think is worth a whole bunch of money is Spawn. They think those first like 5 or 6 issues are like gold, and they're not. Spawn #1's maybe a $50 book, but 2 on is just almost cover price in most cases.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, the Spawn comic series around issue 80 ballooned in value because it was extremely low print runs, and he was introducing new characters like every issue. Gunslinger Spawn, Barbarian Spawn, She Spawn was all being introduced in those issues, and they had extremely low print runs. And those issues are the ones that are worth like 30, 50, 80 bucks a piece right now. Not the first, like I just bought a collection from a guy. He had issues 11 through 32 of Spawn. Now that's Greg Capullo. That's McFarlane was on the first few. Great story, great art, but there's so many of them out there. I've got them in the store for $2 or $3 a piece.
Look, to my mind, like my favorite artist from that era, maybe he was from a little bit for later on, was Michael Turner. You know, the guy who did Aspen and Fathom.
Yeah.
Mostly because he really knew how to draw beautiful women, and that's kind of like a lost art nowadays.
Yeah.
But I just remember like reading that, and you know, of course, he also died like of cancer. But I used to love that. I used to love that art just you know, because it was beautiful. I mean, those comics were actually beautiful. I mean, he did I remember he did an issue of Tomb Raider and Witchblade for was it Top Cow or Image, one of them. And I didn't even read the story. I just like stared at the pictures, thinking, "This is art. This isn't like this comic. This is like these are like Botticelli. These are like we want to write out of a Botticelli painting almost."
Oh yeah,
And it just feels like it's kind of a lost art nowadays. You don't really see that anymore.
that's true. MK says it was also when we got into comic flipping, and then KG says, "Yeah, I got a lot of Image comics too."
I'm recently trying to sell off a whole trunk of comics of my old comics from nothing valuable in there. It's like mostly third party publishers because
Zach, I'd like you to meet Andrew.
and
He buys comics.
all right.
You want to see 3 comics that I picked up recently at a sale that actually Michael Turner and are actually worth some money? Witchblade number 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, nice.
See, that's what I'm talking about. He knew how to draw women. I mean, I mean, obviously it's not anywhere near close to realistic, but it's a comic. It's not supposed to be realistic.
Awesome. Well, guys, I'm gonna close it out. We'll continue to talk in the green room. Everybody, thank you so much. MK and KG, thank you guys so much for hitting it up hard tonight, man. Love seeing you guys participate in chat. Also, Willie D, thank you, man, for stopping by. J. Ross stopped in. It was awesome. Thank you guys so much, man. You make it worthwhile. MK says, night, all great stream. Yeah, thank you so much, man. It was awesome. KG says, nice. See you guys. With that, love you guys. We will see you back in Discord. We're jumping around. We're doing stuff. Origin Comics coming soon. The novel's coming out. We got another. We're creating original characters, so we're going to be doing more of those streams to start creating characters. The characters are already looking better, which is pretty awesome. Willie T says, "Gotta stop Dusty from taking up too much time. We're talking too much next time." Yeah, I know. Dusty just doesn't stop, man.
I had an excellent idea this time.
You did. You had a great idea, and it's super appreciative, of course. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff rolling out in the next few weeks and the next few months. So we're just moving right ahead. Anyway, guys, love you all. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow, and yeah, see you then, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless.